Probably because you take solo queue too seriously. Most pros focus on their pro career and limit test in solo queue. It's not necessarily true, you know. It's just when you reach challenger elo, if you don't try hard, it is not fun because you lose because people are tryharding. Simultaneously, the game has just ridiculous amounts of RNG and terribly designed champions. Like RNG when it comes to matchmaking, and terrible designed champions like Evelyn, Shadow Assassin Kane, Viego, blah blah blah. This goes on, and you have to face these characters like every game because some of them are just by default overpowered. And then the moment you try to take it chill and you try to not try hard, people start flaming you immediately because if you misplay any fight or if you don't perform any game, there's so many players in solo queue that just insta start self-griefing or insta start trolling or insta start flaming. So like, I don't even know what the solution is. This game is so tilting. It is not real how tilting solo queue is. Games feel so RNG. Like some games, I genuinely can make no mistake and I just lose. Some games, I can make 20 mistakes and game is won anyway. It is unbelievably tilting.
Fear is the first of many foes.
I mean, jungle and support role are very, very, very OP. Especially when you reach like Grandmaster Challenger lobbies. Like, games are just run by these roles way too much. Like, especially as a mid laner and AD carry probably. AD carry players probably feel that way too, but like, whether you can play the game solely relies on whether your jungle and support are playing with you or not. Like, I can be winning mid 1v1, but then my jungle support never go mid, and it just feels like I can't play the video game because enemy is there, mine is not, right? Simultaneously, vice versa can happen, where the game is so easy because your jungler support is there and enemy jungler support is just weaker or is not there, and enemy mid laner cannot play the game. That's why it feels so frustrating to play this video game, because so many things don't feel in your control. Also, draft becomes mega important the higher up you go. So at some point, like, some games are just simply lost in draft. Like, you just have to dodge. Like, certain champions just don't win in this video game. Like, when you have Kiana jungle, I can tell you that the chance of winning with Kiana jungle is already a lot lower than with any other meta jungler. That's just how the game is. Like, in Korea, Kiana jungle would actually be a good champ, but in EU, because of the way people play, it's just not good. I'm not saying we're gonna lose because we have Kiana, but the most... I don't even know what to play. I'll just play more Hui. I don't know.
Eye to eye.
Every time I pick something that is more fun, I regret it because, yeah. I'll just play boring standard meta. You guys notice that in this community, in League of Legends community right now, people are saying a few things, right? People are saying, what mainly people are saying is, number one, top lane is not enjoyable because Especially like we're talking about high elo people, right? High elo people are saying that top lane isn't enjoyable because you're just on an island, and then a lot of games are just decided, and it feels like you have no impact, right? It feels like if your bot side loses, it's just game over, kinda. A lot of people are complaining that mid laners are constantly playing as jungle and support, and that mid doesn't feel like a 1v1 lane, and that, yeah. And then a lot of ADCs are complaining that basically kind of same issues as mid lane, right? But when was the last time we heard a support player complaining about the role? I have legit never heard a support player in high elo complain about the role. Ever. Like in the last 4 years, I think I have not heard a single complaint. Jungle players do complain sometimes. But I feel like the higher you go, the less jungle complaints are there too. Like in Challenger, at least in EU, I don't really see jungle players complain much about the role anymore. They used to though. A few years ago, they for sure used to complain a lot more. Like, just from my experience, it just feels like jungle support players complain the least about the game right now. In high elo. Obviously, people will always complain. The thing is, I can tell you why I'm tilted. I'm tilted the last few days because the reason why I'm tilted the last few days is because we're not screaming. When we were screaming regularly with lost tones, I'm just less tilted because scrims are simply more enjoyable than solo queue these days. And then because you play 4 to 5 hours of scrims and then you transition into solo queue, it doesn't feel as taxing, and it feels like you don't really care that you lose in solo queue. Because your solo queue is your number 2 priority, it's not your number 1 priority. But when scrims aren't happening like they are the past few days, it feels like your solo queue is your number 1 priority, and all you care about is solo queue, and solo queue just plain sucks. It's just bad. And this is actually the same thing Reckless actually complained about. Reckless has the same problem I do, which is that when scrims aren't happening...
Like you need to start playing Hello Kitty Island Adventure.
Fuck that game. Yeah.